Good afternoon. Good afternoon, students. Good afternoon, students. Thank you. We're still waiting on fourth grade, and parents, we'd like to welcome you too. Just give us a minute to get fourth grade here, and we'll be ready to begin. There's a lot of joy in the room, and that's a good thing, but remember that we're in church, so kind of keep your noise level down, respect what's going to happen. It's a cool thing that's going to happen to recognize all of the accomplishments in terms of what eighth graders have done to enrich our community. So we're going to hear about that today. But again, we're looking for fourth grade, so give me a minute. So if you are going to talk with someone next to you, talk very softly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're ready to begin. As soon as fourth grade is seated, we can begin. Thank you. Thank you for your cooperation. Take a second, and if you would close your eyes for a minute, and I'd like you to offer a quiet prayer for our eighth graders before we begin as a way to just settle yourself down. Just close your eyes, take a breath, and send some good vibes to our eighth grade students. Okay, open your eyes. I think we're ready to begin. I have the pleasure of waking up in the morning and starting my day with 8A and 8B back to back. Now, some people might think that was crazy because teenagers early in the morning aren't always the easiest to work with, but this eighth grade class is the exact opposite of that. They are a joy. So this afternoon, we get to hear how the eighth grade has enriched our community this year. And for all of you students in grade 7th grade all the way to 1st grade, I want you to be listening to think of all the ways you might want to grow up and participate and enrich our community as well. So this is an informal recognition. It's not awards. It's us noticing the things that eighth graders do every day to make our school a better place, to make it a happier place, and to make it a place that runs very smoothly. So, I'm going to start with two people who start our day every day, and I'm going to ask them to stand at their place to be recognized. Every morning when you come to school, the flags are up. That's 180 days out of the school year. There are two people who are responsible for doing that every day and one person that backs them up. So stand at your place, please. Ben Davis and Quinlan Daniel. Thank you. Joining them is their best backup ever, Marielena Iliopoulos. Thank you guys for your service. Speaking of service to our community, and I'd like you to just hold your applause till the very end of this. 7th and 8th graders have a requirement for service. They have to do 10 hours of service in 7th grade and 10 hours in 8th grade. And this class is amazing because if you do the math, that should be about 1,200 hours, right? 60-ish times 20-ish, about 1,200. This class has done 2,393.75 hours of service. Now, that is not unusual for St. Paul's, but I think it's in the top 5 in my time here. And I'd like you to just hear some of the kinds of service that they've done very quickly. They have done sandwich builders, dishes for dollars, peer tutoring, chess club, serving our parish with Father Gill, miracles for kids, the LA Marathon, Heal the Bay, Tree People, projects for the festival, foundation projects, some holiday toy drives for their cultural background, for Scouts, National Charity League. They've been CTIs in summer camps, they've been in Bible camps, they've helped schools in Mexico rebuild or refurbish. And they've helped in our sports programs and sports programs in other schools and parks as well. Those are just some of the kinds of service that they've done. Now, a couple of kids who I do dishes for dollars with, I need to stand up tonight because when I have them in dishes for dollars, I don't have to do anything. They are Ben Davis and Willow Demery. Can you stand, please? Okay, thank you. And thank you for the nights of just dinner and not washing dishes for me. Thank you both. Have a seat. Okay, I'd also like to ask those, I think there's 3 students who have done over 100 hours of service. Can I have you stand, please? Alex, Kaya, Ben, I think it's the 3 of you. Please stand. Kaya, are you there? Yes. Thank you. Okay, have a seat. The students just finished writing essays about their service, and to hear them talk about what happens to them when they're doing their service, how good they feel, is just part of the joy of service. But part of being a good Catholic is to put what you believe into action. And that's what this 8th grade class does. There is not one person in this 8th grade class who has done the minimum hours. Everyone has the minimum plus, so I want to thank you for that. And now I'd like to ask Miss Masterson to come forward, please. She has two sets of people she'd like to recognize.
Good afternoon, everyone. I wanted to let you know that on Sundays, on the first Sunday of the month, our children's choir sings under the direction of our wonderful Mr. Casey, and we always try to have a student lector at that Mass. And these lectors have to undergo training with Lisa Wellick, who's our parish liturgical coordinator. Once they get assigned to the Mass, they practice the reading with me during homeroom time. They practice it at home. They get to Mass early, and they really are faith-filled and faithful in their willingness to spend all this time. So at this time, I would like to thank two 8th grade students for sharing their time and treasure with our parish and school. If you could just come up here and stand so I can present you with this certificate of recognition. Delilah Amadi. And Connor Heimbold. Now, another way that students can serve and show their faith is at our school liturgies. And when we have a school Mass, there are about 5 students, usually in the back of the church, who make sure that students and parents and teachers are welcomed as they enter the church, that they have a songbook, and when the gift bearers are ready to process the gifts to the altar, these students help guide them. Sometimes the younger students need a little bit of assurance. And they also make sure that everyone knows when to receive Holy Communion. Additionally, they often stay after Mass to make sure that nothing has left behind on the pews. At this time, I would like the following students, please hold your applause until the last name is called, to come up and receive your certificate of recognition. Ashton Bates. Please hold your applause, thank you. Willow Demery. Nico Fina. Gaia Sophia Giannini. And Luke Perrier.
At this time, Father Gill has some of our students in 8th grade to recognize as well.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm here to acknowledge those who serve at the altar servers. You see them on school masses often, but they also serve on Sunday masses. They also serve during some very sad times, during funerals. They'll be here, and happy times too, during the weddings. So there's a whole way that they serve here at the church. But I want to tell you something that's really important about this service is that it's not just carrying the candles. They carry the candles. They help prepare the altar for the bread and wine, and it becomes the body and blood of Christ. But having them here present makes the Mass, it makes that whole prayer service, especially when someone's celebrating a wedding or celebrating a funeral, when someone dies, they bring great comfort to the family. So it's really so important. If you're younger, you want to be an altar server, just look at these people we're calling up here, because you get a chance to see some real Christian service and ways to help people that are just really incredible. So I want to invite our 8th grade altar servers forward. Please come up and also hold your applause till they all get up here. Martin Salchow, Luke Stapleton, Ben Davis, David Espinosa, Marcos Pataro, Caden Brackett, and Connor Merges, and Michael Collins. What they do here is so important. So, would you encourage people to become altar servers? Yeah, it's great. It's great. Oh, and sometimes when they do weddings, the wedding couples always give them a nice little gift too. So, just saying. So anyway, thank you very much for your service. Many blessings. God bless you. Thank you.
I'd also like to acknowledge at this time that we have some students who don't attend our church. They practice another faith. And so although I won't call them by name, know that there are students who altar serve in other parishes regularly, and also in the church that they worship. They work on Sundays for their different churches. So know that we know that, and that we appreciate the service you give to your own church or parish. Next is it's going to be kind of a big group, and so I really want you to hold your applause. This is Coach Josh is going to come up and kind of help me with this one by calling up the different groups of people. So organize yourselves when you come up, just little by little, so we can see all of you together towards the end.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to start off by bringing up the athletes that participated this year. So if you know you're a part of a team, get ready to stand up, which is basically this whole class. I just want to start off by saying this group is a phenomenal group. Over the last 3 years since I've been here, we've either put up a championship or runner-up banner, 15 new banners since I've been here, and that's in 3 years. So that's a huge accomplishment. It went from having 3 banners on the boys' side to basically now filled up with no more space to put any more banners. So when you hear your group, be ready to stand up and kind of separate into groups when you guys get up here. So first we have fall sports. We have flag football, girls volleyball, golf. Everybody that you heard, come up here to the front, please. And guys, just stay up here, separate into your groups, please. Next, sports, and most of these kids play 2 or 3 sports in the same season. Next, we have winter sports. We have our boys basketball, girls basketball, golf, boys and girls soccer. And then last, in our spring sports, we have track and field, boys volleyball, boys and girls soccer, and newly added this year, we added tennis and boys baseball, who just won their actual championship this year. So, Matthew Krieger, you're part of track. So if you look around, there's about 55 students here that played in all the sports. It's almost the whole 8th grade class. So give them a nice round of applause, please. And you guys can go ahead. Make your way back. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Steve.
And I want to mention that not only do they do well in sports, but we always get reports back from the other schools where we play and whom we play against, talking about the sportsman-like conduct or the sportsperson conduct of our athletes and our coaches. So thank you. Now, everybody has different gifts, so sports might not be your gift, although 55 people played sports, whether or not they still consider it a gift. So we do have the fine arts coming up next. So I'd ask Miss Newton to come up and talk about the students she wants to recognize in musical theater. And Miss Cheryl.
Oh, you feel like a rock star. Okay. Good afternoon. Today, both crew members and actors are receiving recognition in musical theater. And we're so proud that as these graduates move on to their next journey, they're taking with them an appreciation and love for the performing arts. The following crew members donated their time to our program and worked hard to help the shows come together. They had to learn the show in less than 2 weeks and worked well under the pressures of live theater. They also helped create the sound of the beast, right? Graduates, please come up when your name is called and stay up here until every name is mentioned. For his work backstage in Beauty and the Beast, Ben Davis. For backstage and lighting work in both Annie and Beauty and the Beast, Delilah Amati. For working our curtains in both Annie and Beauty and the Beast, Clara Merchant. And for working our curtains, oh, I just said that one. Okay, our next crew member was not only a hard-working crew member, but she did an exceptional job of designing our lighting look in all of our scenes, and she took it upon herself to go the extra mile. So our last crew member is Alex Farley. Our next set of 8th graders receiving recognition today are our actors who have dedicated their busy 8th grade year or more to the musical theater program. It is an all-year dedication with sometimes rehearsals every day, so we're just so thankful. And not only have these actors loyally dedicated their time and talent to the program, but they've also done so with an open heart and enthusiasm. For 1 year of performance, Matthew Krieger. For 2 years of performance, Quinlan Daniel. So a lot of these students would have done more, but COVID interrupted that. So this is going to be an interesting number. So for 2.5 years of performance, Rocco Caruso. And for 2.5 years, plus 3 summer shows for a total of 5.5 performances, Margot Ness. Graduates, as you prepare for your next adventure in the great wide somewhere, I'd like to remind you of some wise words Lumiere gave to the beast. You don't have time to be timid. You must be bold and daring. We can't wait to see what you do next. Thank you. Congratulations.
I'd like to ask Miss Alessi to come up, please. She's going to be talking about something that we don't see every day in front of us on a stage, but happens quietly in the afternoons of preparation and the weekends of tournaments. She will be recognizing students for debate.
Could the following students come forward? Rocco Caruso, Joseph Gemperle, Gaia Giannini, Connor Heimbo, Colin Karasik, Matthew Krieger, Cooper Kuhn, Addison Lee, Matthias Mayo Hostetter, Clara Merchant, Connor Murgis, Jack Nassiri, I think, is out today, and Sam Officer. When participating in debates, students learn to research, develop, and deliver positions on complex and controversial topics. But in addition to that, there's an opportunity to develop empathy, a trait necessary for leadership and essential in both public and private life. Without empathy, solutions are not possible. Debates and the polarization of views they engender are useless without a promise of a resolution through recognition of those differing views and the willingness to compromise to reach the most equitable solution. Debaters are not only asked to put themselves in the position of others, they have to offer examples and research to support their positions. Anecdotal feelings are not enough. Appreciating what the world looks like from someone else's point of view fosters humility, perspective, tolerance, and empathy, qualities that are sorely missing in today's world. To those of you who honed your skills and developed a keener sense of empathy over several debate seasons, and to others of you who for the first time felt the thrill of dismantling an opponent's argument, I have witnessed your growth and commend you for your devotion and achievement. Be mindful of your role in the pursuit of social justice and be strengthened by the prayer of Pope Francis, who said, "Let us give thanks for the lay people who take risks, who are not afraid, and who offer reasons for hope to the poorest, to the excluded, to the marginalized. And remember, debate is life, the rest is prep time." Rocco. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thanks for your courage. Appreciate it.
We might not appreciate this right now, but in a couple of weeks we will. Mr. Ho is going to come forward to recognize your book.
Good afternoon. This is my first time speaking, so if I'm nervous, bear with me. I am in charge of the yearbook, and we had a great staff this year. Putting up the yearbook is really a lot of hard work, and a lot of the kids that volunteer for this, they have to put in a lot of hours that are not just at school, sometimes on holidays, sometimes their vacation, and their weekends that they have to do. So I appreciate all their effort and all their hard work that they did, because otherwise the yearbook couldn't finish, and I certainly could not do it all by myself. So these are the people that helped with the yearbook. Yes, you guys will receive it. We already have it in, and it's just waiting for the end of the school year for you guys to get it. I'm very proud of what they did, and you will see the results very soon. I'm going to start with the staff that we have. It is going to be Delilah Amadi, Dean Callahan, Taylor Demarest, Alex Farley, Aiden Lahara, Sam Officer, and Max Ting. Okay, each year we usually have 2 or 3 editors. This year we have 2, and they are the leaders of the yearbook, and without them, without their direction, and without their help, I couldn't get anything really done, because I go through them to get to the staff. So they are Vivian Houellette and Cooper Kuhn. These are the people responsible for the yearbook, and when you guys get it, thank them if they're still around. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ho. I have a message from Ms. Lewandowski, who is not in school today, but she provided me with some words and some people to recognize and some pins for them. She would like to recognize Alex Farley, Addison Lee, and Clara Mershon, this year's Arts Council representatives to Student Council. And these are her words. These students have consistently served on the Arts Council for the last few years, helping to set up classes, organize materials, and work on large projects such as art shows, hallway displays, and posters. So you wondered how all those things got on the walls and in those little boxes, and this is how they get there. They regularly devoted their lunch and recess times to serving our school community by making sure that the art room was neat and organized. During holidays, they volunteered their times to visit our neighbors, the Church of Latter-day Saints next door, and decorate a Christmas tree with the ornaments that our school students created. This year, these students also single-handedly created our school's very first art zine, which was published in both print and online formats, art zine, and featured artwork created by St. Paul's students. I know you've heard Alex's announcement to submit artwork. She would like to thank these students for their dedication and hard work in the visual arts department. And if I can, will you do me a favor and give this to me? My fingers are too shaky to get things out of that little bag. It's a really little bag. The next group that we would like to recognize, this is from Mr. Agabao, Mr. A. He has asked to recognize a few students, and then there's a couple of additional ones that both Mr. Finton and Father Gill would like to recognize as well, and this is in the Department of Music. Our first person is Cooper Kuhn. Cooper, could you come up, please? And Alex Farley as well. Alex, would you come up, please? Alex Farley. Now, these are Mr. A's words, and then I will add the second group of students that both Mr. Finton and Father Gill have asked me to recognize. Alex Farley is someone who started out as a curious beginner in our music program and is leaving as a music enthusiast and skilled performer on the guitar. For her contributions to the music program and as a regular guitarist for our spring concerts and school events, we recognize Alex Farley. For Cooper, Cooper has not only been the most consistent contributor to the upper school music program, but has graced us with excellent violin skills at multiple school events over the years, including school masses, prayer services, and spring sing concerts. We've been fortunate and blessed to have Cooper as a member of our music culture at St. Paul's, and both of these students' talents will be missed. Now, if you'll remain standing, I would also like to ask Rocco Caruso, Margot Ness, Max and Noah Ting, Marielena and Taylor to come up, please. Each year, our 8th graders attend a week-long adventure in Yosemite, and the last group of students that I mentioned played a pivotal role in preparing for and carrying through on the liturgy that was at that Yosemite retreat evening, so I would like to make sure that we include them as musical singers and musicians. Music is alive and well at St. Paul's, and if you haven't already, let your music teacher know of your talents, whether vocal or instrumental. Please do that. 8th graders, thank you so much. I'd like to bring up Miss Oliver for Library Council.
I definitely wore the wrong shoes today. All right, I'd like to call up the following students, and you can hold your applause till the end. Luke Prier, Margot Ness, Cooper Kuhn, Matthew Krieger, Alex Farley, Kaya Brennan, and Rocco Caruso. So, Sister Stella used to say, that the library is the heart of the school. And with these people giving influence and creating a space in the library, I think that they have succeeded. It's a place that is warm, inviting, helpful, engaging, fun, and inspirational. And I'm sure that you've been touched by some creative act that one of these students did. I don't know if you remember, I had a parent donate some really cool rocks. And one of the students made a little container that you could look in with the black light and see all the colors. And we had rock books out. We've had a used book sale. We have a lot of accelerated reader parties. We had an Easter egg hunt. Do you remember the Easter egg hunt some of you participated in? That's thanks to these people right here. So I want to thank them for everything they've done. And they'll really be missed. I'm really going to miss them a lot. And they're most of the library council, so I'm calling on all of you too. These are big shoes to fill, but we need you to fill them. So thank you for all of your time, your treasure, your ideas. You're really appreciated. And I have a little token of appreciation for you too. So you can applaud one more time.
I teased Miss Oliver that I bet it's a book. What do you think?
It isn't.
Oh, come on. All right, our next group has really taken this program and run with it, along with its moderator, Mr. Finton. He'll be up now to recognize some of the people that you see on broadcast, but a lot of the people that are behind the scenes that you'll never see. So if you want to know what it takes to put broadcasts together, Mr. Finton will show you.
Hi, good afternoon. So Mr. Finton and I would like to recognize the Broadcast Club. Mr. Finton oversees the reporters and anchors while I oversee the technology crew. And we just want to recognize the work that they've done and how this team has evolved into a student-led team, meaning it's the students doing all the work and Mr. Finton and I could just sit back. So that's a great accomplishment. And they really do make an impact in informing our school of all our events and student accomplishments that we've done here at school.
Yeah, being on broadcast is not easy. It is quite a commitment. We meet at lunches on Mondays, during afternoon homeroom on Thursdays, and 20 to 30 minutes before school, so that's starting at like 7:30 on Friday mornings, which is challenging for teenagers. Our club members consistently show up, and they put in even more time and effort at home with their broadcast club's assignments. Our technology team sets up the cameras, tables, chairs, and lights, and runs all the pre-recorded videos and switches between microphones and cameras, which sounds very complicated because it is very complicated and challenging. And our creative team works hard to organize and prep interviews, write scripts, come up with creative ideas, work collaboratively with each other, and figure out guest highlights. So, as Mr. Lopez said, we want to recognize our 8th grade club members. So would the following students please come forward and stand up here and remain standing? Please hold your applause till the end. There are 19 members of broadcast in 8th grade. Delilah Amati, Dean Callahan, Willow Demery, Taylor Demarest, Georgetta Duncan, Gaia Giannini, Vivian Houlette, Colin Karasek, Ellie Kiernigan, Maddie Marujo, Clara Mershon, Jack Nasiri, Sam Officer, Charlie Ogolnik, Cassie Ruiz-Sanchez, Victoria Salas, Alessia Saluzio, Marcos Bataro, and Noah Ting. Say something. And our 8th grade students have put in over 700 hours of work as a team on more than 20 broadcasts this year alone. So thank you for your dedication and hard work. Please stay standing.
Okay. Right here. Okay. We also want to recognize 6 students who always step in to help and have shown leadership skills. Would the following students please take a big step forward? Georgetta Duncan, Willow Demery, Gaia Giannini, Cassie Ruiz Sanchez, Victoria Salas, and Noah Ting. Thank you for your leadership.
So there's just a couple more. I know that you've seen lots and lots of really busy people. These students also maintain their good grades. So imagine managing all of these things that they're into. I'd like to call up, Mr. Lopez will stay here, and I'd like to call up Mr. Bravo as well, as they have some robotics and coding to talk to us about.
Okay, good afternoon. So I first would like to talk about the robotics club that is in its second year of life at St. Paul. So I would like to talk about what the robotics club actually does, which is, for the most part, it is largely student-driven, meaning input from myself or Mr. Lopez is pretty minimum. A lot of the robotics program is about sort of coming up with a solution to a problem and then designing a robot around that. Robotics club members really kind of jump in with both feet and have to learn how to use CAD systems like Tinkercad or Blender and other stuff like that, while also having to learn a little bit of coding with things like C++ in order to basically speak the language that these robots can also speak, which is a lot of commands and ones and zeros. It is really like learning another language. So if the members of the robotics team could please stand or come up to the front. Come up to the front. Okay, so yeah, we can give them a round of applause. So from brainstorming to coding to executing, these students, or these 8th graders, were largely responsible for the robots that were created in the last 2 years. From last year, there was Selene, the robot that could basically drive towards any sort of source of light that it could find. I don't think the robotic hand had a name this year, but to this year's robotic hand that could open and close to grab things. This was done and driven largely by these 3 students who spent a lot of time figuring out how to make it work, and even when things went according to plan, they had to sort of be prepared and expect the unexpected when, for some reason, one thing or another wasn't working the way that it was supposed to. So if we could give them all a round of applause once more. And I would like to give a special shout out to Sam Officer for approaching me since 6th grade asking about a robotics club, and finally in 7th grade, finally being able to make that happen. Without his sort of insistence on where this program was, they might not even be here at all. So.
Okay, and one quick award, and this award is for coding. This year we got the Ozobots, which all of you have probably used before now. But I want to recognize one student who was just very talented, completed the task very quickly, always asked questions, and strive to just improve their code to perfection. And so this award goes to Quinlan Daniel. One more round of applause, please. Thank you.
Okay, this is something that most of you may not expect to see because it happens after school is over. Katie, are you here? Katie Riley is one of the directors of our after-school program, and she has a few students that she would like you to recognize. And you, if you go to after-school care, might understand why.
I'll keep it short and sweet. So we all know I lovingly refer to aftercare as organized chaos, and I've been extremely lucky with the students who have consistently shown up this year. Whether it was helping a younger student with homework, mediating schoolyard conflicts, or helping another student clean up a mess, these three have never failed to jump in and make everyone's day a little bit better. So I couldn't have asked for a better group for our younger kids to look up to. Could Vivian, Hulette, Marlena, and Quinn please come up here?
Okay, so you've seen a lot. Some of the things you're aware of that these students have done, and some you are not. But every time we have an outdoor assembly, you've seen these students stand up in the front. It's one of the only places you see them all together. But they are truly a team led by two ferocious leaders, organized beyond belief. I don't know how I could have gotten some of the things that I've been asked to do done without them. But I want you to see them all together. I'm not going to call them by name because that will happen at different events between now and the end of the year. But if I could have Cooper and Rocco come up, please. If I could have the 8th grade elected members of Student Council come forward, please. And if I could have the councils and individual representatives chosen by moderators to come forward, please. Whether it is helping organize service or environmental education or delivering your lunch stickers or cutting up pieces of pie for you, raising money for charity, for being on the announcements every day without fail or finding someone to replace them if they're absent. All of these students have led our school this year with dignity, personal integrity, and responsibility. And again, I don't know what we would have done without them. So please recognize your student council. And I know that they're not 8th graders, but we have members of student council that are in 7th grade, and we will recognize you at a different time. So please, please, 7th grade, know that we haven't forgotten you. that concludes our what am I calling this? A recognition kind of ceremony. Remember, these are not awards because they're not one and done situations. These are people who looked for leadership and responsibility, but most of all, service. They sought it out. They raised their hand when help was needed. And you can see all the different ways that they did that this year. So again, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. And 8th grade, I want you to close your eyes and think about high school. How is it next year that you see yourself being of service and leadership to your class, to your grade, to your church, and to your school? Ask God to give you the courage to raise that hand, to step up, to volunteer. And maybe when you're in 8th grade, you will be coming up as well. Thank you for your time. And let's give one last round of applause to the class of 2024. All right, we are just about on time, but I'm going to ask one group of young men to stand. So if the boys volleyball team has an important match today, so if you would stand and exit first. I know you need to get your things and leave. Good luck. They are playing an important championship level match today. Okay, nothing drops, guys. Parents, we want to thank you for coming to our informal ceremony. I hope that you are as proud of your young people as we are. Thank you for coming. If I could have 7th grade lead out, please. And if I could have 2nd grade lead out, please. Out the front doors, if I can have 4th grade lead out, please. Okay, 5th grade, follow 2nd grade, please.